over that chicken, over that mash, a little bit on there. Oh yes, please. That is absolutely sensational. Look at that. Hi everyone, welcome to Backyard Chef. I'm Rick. Today we're doing one of the recipes, I wish I knew when I first started, recipes like this are so easy to do. It makes a fantastic dinner, you can shove it on the table, and we're coming to that festive time as well. So, you could remember this and serve it up nearer the festive period. It's so easy. I've got a load of sprouts, I've got carrots, I've got some bacon, I've got some chicken, a little bit of garlic. We're going to make a glaze and we're going to shove it all in the oven to cook in one go. These are the meals that are so easy. You prep it, shove it in there, finish, serve on the table. For all those people that have never prepped sprouts before, sprouts, take off the end, take off a couple of leaves. I mean, if they're really bad leaves, there's nothing wrong with these, but if they're really bad, take them off, okay, and just cut them in half and put them in there. Now we're cutting these in half for this dish. Other times you might just put a cross in the bottom and put them in boiling water. So just take that off there, cut it in half, put it in there. Easy as that. So that's nice and straightforward with a little bit of garlic. This is all we're doing. We're not even mashing it. Or mincing it, should I say. We are mashing it, obviously, look. And that bit there. That's it. Just chuck it on top of your sprouts. That's as easy as that. Right, that's all the veg we're doing. We've got some carrots here. I am going to chuck these carrots in. They've been in the bottom of the fridge. Perfect for this type of dish. We're just going to put a dinner on the table. If we just put the chicken on and the sprouts. Okay, we're using bacon. I'm using cubed bacon today, actually. And you can use Canadian bacon, you can use ham, you can use anything. But in the recipe, I'll put 6 rashers of bacon or something like that. And you just put the bacon in. We actually want the bacon flavour. Right, we got these carrots. I'm not going to do any more to them. That's it. The baby carrots, we don't have to do any more to them. I'm going to chuck them all in at the same time. This makes this a simple recipe. Now, if you had big carrots, obviously you would peel them or whatever, wash them and chop them into chunks. You want your oven on 200 degrees and you want to get yourself a suitable tray, okay? Chicken today, I'm using chicken thigh, skin on, bone in. My preferred for something like this, because we're going to chuck it in the oven. It's going to cook, it's going to fall off the bone anyway. Now, if you can't get bone in, skin on, use boneless, skinless, entirely up to you, okay? Right, we want to season this. Salt and pepper, little bit of paprika. Okay, so we're going to salt over the top. Now, you can pat all this dry and do whatever you want. That's up to you. I'm not going to bother. It's actually going to be sat inside the tray. Does it need to be dry? Well, not really. Not for this one. Okay, got a little bit of paprika on there. And this is smoked paprika. I'm actually using smoked bacon cubes today. I've got these, look. It's just a chunk of bacon chopped up. Okay. On there, just pat it on and turn it over and do the other side. That is all we're doing. It's a simple, easy cook. No complicated marinades, no nothing. A little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and a little bit of paprika. As simple as that. There you go. Pat, 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 pat. On there. Just as easy as that. Okay. I'm just going to wash my hands so we can prep this up. We need to make a glaze. So I'll just wash my hand. Nice and steady. Right, grab yourself a bowl. Okay, our glaze can't be any more simpler than about 3 tablespoons of maple syrup. I want 2 tablespoons of Dijon mustard in there. About a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. Now you could put your minced garlic in here if you wanted. I don't want. I'm just going to chuck the garlic in with everything and it's going to all cook in there and flavour everything. This is a glaze. I'm not bothered about glazing it with garlic. I want to cook with the garlic. But you know, feel free to put minced garlic in here. And we want some melted butter in there. Nice little stir on and we got this beautiful glaze. There you go. You know, and we're going to change it out a bit as well. I've got a couple of small red onions here, look. So we're not going to do any more than peel these onions. Put that for stock. You know, nothing better than roasted red onion. So, wedges. If it breaks up, we're not bothered. We're just going to put it in like that. Okay, there you go. Right, let's bung all this together. Take our tray. So you can do all this in a bowl or you can throw it in here. Sprouts in here. Get that garlic through there. Now we're putting all this in here and this is going to cook in here with all the juices and the water that's coming out of the chicken. In there with your bacon. Distribute it out. We want that smoky flavour everywhere. Want a little bit of olive oil in there. So you don't want it to stick to start off with. I'm going to put a little bit of salt and pepper on those sprouts. Tiny bit of salt on there. A little bit of pepper on there. Salt and pepper works fantastic with sprouts. Those wedges of onion in there. Those carrots in there. Okay, we've got some of this glaze on there. Get that buttery maple goodness through there. Just put a little bit through like that. We're going to brush over or drizzle over the chicken, but we need to keep some back. Take your chicken on there. Okay, we want to keep some of this back. We're going to cover this, and then when we take the cover off, we want to be able to put a little bit more glaze on. So it's just a little bit on there. Fabulous. Just keep that to one side. So that is it basically. We've got that fantastic job going on there. Take yourself some foil over the top and whack it in the oven. Oven temperature, like I say, is on 200. Whack that in there for about 35 minutes, somewhere around about there. And then we'll take the lid off and cook it uncovered. There you go. Let's be taking that out. Okay, get this foil off. Take it off away from you. Oh, there we go. What a fantastic looking set there. Right, that glaze that we had on there. And this goes back in to roast uncovered. That is going back in the oven 25 to 30 minutes. By that time, the sprouts will be cooked through and we'll have a crispy top on that chicken. Come on. Okay, meanwhile, back at the ranch, we're going to knock up an instant gravy. In here, just some gravy granule powder. And we're going in there with some water, boiling water. We're going to stick a flame on and we're going to cook it in there until it thickens. Nice and steady. Nothing flash about this. I want a loose gravy. I'm not bothered about onions or anything. Yes, and for all the people that have got time and want to make gravy by browning flour and all the rest of it in butter, go ahead. Nothing wrong with instant gravy. Apart from some of it's very salty, to be honest. So it's just nice and steady. We're just going to thicken that up. I'm going to serve this with mashed potatoes today, I think. So we're going to have a bit of a full dinner. Very easy. You know how to mash potatoes, boil your potatoes, salted water. Stick in some butter and some, drain them, stick in some butter and some milk if you want. Sour cream, whatever you fancy. Give it a mashing up, mashed potatoes. The reason why I said I want a loose gravy today, this is not the start of the show, this is just to wet the mashed potatoes and everything. The start of the show is that flavoured glaze, that buttery maple glaze that we've got on there. We want that to shine through with the vegetables, and we're just going to have a bit of gravy to go with it. However, if you like thicker gravy, onion gravy, make it, put it on. Okay, the smell is off the charts. You can smell that maple-Dijon glaze, the veggies, the roast chicken. Brilliant. Come on, let's get it out. Oh, look at that. Oh, yeah. Oh, come on. Look at that. That is what we're talking. Bubbling goodness right there. Look at that. Superb. What an easy meal. Okay, come on, we need to get it served up. Some nice mashed potato. Come on, we're in. Straight in there. Our veggies. On there. What a medley, what a selection. Oh, look at that. On there, some of those carrots. Come on. Look at that. Fab. On there. A bit of that chicken. Now here's what you can do. You can take that juice from there, that buttery maple juice, and make gravy out of that. I'm just going to stir a little bit into my gravy. We need a loose gravy today. Over that chicken, over that mash, a little bit on there. Oh yes, please. That is banging, to use a word. That is absolutely sensational. Look at that. And what have we done? We've done absolutely nothing. We've thrown it in a tray, we've thrown it in the oven, and we've served it up. Come on. So here we are, the best time. Sprouts, look. Sprouts are cooked, look. Sprouts are cooked perfectly. They're soft, but they've got crunch. They're not burnt with, you know. How many times have you seen maple glazed sprouts and they're burnt to death? Perfect. Delicious. They've got that maple flavour through there on there. They've got a little bit of that Dijon, and you know, you can taste the chicken juices on there. That is full flavour. Carrots cooked through perfectly, a little bit firm like they should be. Oh, come on. Our ham that we put in there, our bacon, delicious. Onions, oh. Start of the show, the chicken. Well, it's not really the start of the show, the sprouts now. But the chicken, look in there. Perfectly cooked, moist chicken. Is this such an easy way to cook? Of course it is. Easy, tasty, good dinner on the table, no work. And I can see cranberry sauce on this and whatever, stuffing. You know, this is an easy way to make a festive dinner. Oh yeah. And I like my mustard, as you know. When a little tinkering of that on there, and we're in. We're gonna get stuck in. Straight in on it all. Nice bit of skin, bit of chicken, bit of sprouts, bit of mustard. Oh, come on. Some creamy mash. An absolutely simple dinner. You don't have to go to culinary college to cook anything like this. So easy. Get it in the oven, get it on the table. If you like what we're doing, share with your friends. Tell them how easy it is to make this. If you do like what we're doing, a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, ring that bell. Catch you in the next video.